Welcome back to another Bit Legends video. Today we're jumping back into the tower. I'm going to continue to see if my strategy's working. I got a little bit of a TS upgrade from refining and whatnot, but here we go. So I actually intended on fishing for a decent floor before we got started, but I felt like this floor is going to be funny enough that we might as well run it and just see what's up. So we're fighting Steel Foreman as the boss. He has, I think, 13% reflect, and the enemies here are getting 10% reflex. So let's just show you exactly what that looks like. Enemies get hit points, I'm losing block. They get SP, I'm losing crit damage, but that doesn't really matter to me. And then your heroes deal less damage as they lose SP. So, okay. We shall see. I do love starting off with an SP shrine. That's pretty much best scenario. I'm gonna try to look around the map, see if I can find the boss. Who knows? Honestly, the team I have is probably that is Steel Foreman, but that is not the boss version of him, so this might be a short run. The team I have is probably the best, the most resilient against reflect because I have all healers and a tank, so maybe we'll be okay with this. Maybe this is like the anti-reflect formation. But anyways, so this is Steel Foreman again. This is not the boss because he's not in the big form. So, and he almost one-shot himself with reflect, dude. And that's a tank with 45% damage reduction. Anyways, all right. So we're gonna try to do a healthy mix of autopilot here to make things a little bit. Wow, that was a beautiful heal. That must have been like a crit or something. I don't know. But we're gonna do a healthy mix of autopilot here to try to make it a little bit faster. And again, if you didn't catch my video about the updates, or if you just haven't checked it out in the updates channel, Discord, do that. There's a lot of positive things coming our way that was much needed. So we might be okay here, man. We might be okay. I had the strategy of using my second best minion team and then using my best minion team after, but I tried that yesterday and I just had such bad rolls. Mainly the issue was actually the floors I was getting, not the team I had. So I think I'm going to flip it just because I don't want to be doing this. For me, these runs can take like 40 minutes, dude. 40 minutes. And then you can still lose on the boss. So, God, he got reflected again. Well, let's get a little bit more auto in here. But yeah, so updates are coming, and I try to be in the middle. When good stuff happens, I like to talk about it. When bad stuff happens, I like to talk about it, and we stay somewhat neutral that way. So, I'm looking forward to some of the new stuff. I still disagree with it with a couple things, but we're seeing some progress, and so I can't really complain on that. But I gotta say, combat has got to get faster. Basically, I want combat so fast that when I click a button, it's time for me to click a button again. That's the player experience that players should have, whether you're DPS, whether you're tank, whatever. You know, like, because I'm gonna be here for a long time fighting these guys, and this isn't even the boss pack. So that's what I'm thinking about. Anywho, I'm definitely feeling the pain of losing the Defender SP bonus because when I use that, my team is almost full of SP. I think it's amazing. I'm going to put some feedback forward to see, who knows, they probably already have ideas on what the future sets are going to be, what the future guild boss gear is going to be. But I think a good suggestion, whether they use it now or later, would be future guild boss can revamp the sets that we already have. First things first, I would drop the healer set. Clergy, I would say, is no more because DPS or healers can use DPS gear well enough. And I have a bunch of players that have full clergy sets and they don't use it because it's not useful for them in content. I had somebody who would literally drop almost 1,000 total stats just to use their DPS gear because they could do everything better there. And that's their ordeals, that is their expedition, PvP, GVG, everything. And now with tower in here, it's even more important. In fact, I actually sent a message out to my guild just letting any of the DPS NGs know if they want to swap and permanently be wow, he got reflected and didn't die. That feels good. I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to get full SP and get a little bit of shields and whatnot. But I told all my DPS NGs that if they want to go bounty hunter, they can absolutely do that. And also keep in mind, I never really pushed anybody into going engineer. For the tanks, I said, hey, I'm going engineer. We all should do this, and everybody did that. So I guess you can count that as pushing. but I never said, hey, we need a couple engineers. We just have a couple players that want to do that support/healing style, and they are engineers at the moment, but I don't want anybody to feel like they're locked into something that is a little bit less optimal for pushing towers. And towers, what's up? So, you know, I want my players to be able to get in there and get active with it. Okay, so we're fighting the big bad boss. It's actually good that we had a little bit of a warm-up against the other guy. I'm going to try to keep shields high here. I think the shields are going to be strong to try to battle reflex. Oh my goodness, don't kill my tank, please. But that's the game plan. That's what I'm going for. Kaboosh, kabosh, bunch of heals. I got reflected there. No, I reflected him. Okay, that's what that was. But tank's taking some damage, fellas. I do need, if I really want to do this reflect build, I really need to get my stamina higher, like at least 1,000 more, like 1,300 more stamina. Also, the higher your stamina is, the better hit point percentage bonus is for you, because you're getting a higher bonus. That leech attack did nothing for me, man. Please don't die, bro. Stay alive. Survive. I don't know what that movie, I think it's from Tropic Thunder. Oh, and dude, Sharky's getting reflected all day. Okay, so we did fall there. It is potion time. I'm going to have to put a crappy potion there. Since I have a heal right behind him, I'm going to leave my tank there. What I could have done is put Shark in the front, but I decided to hold off on that. So this is possible. It's winnable. I don't know who's doing a ton of damage. Maybe just any of these minions here are high enough damage to hurt me. And I lost block because of the debuff of the content, the debuff of the map. So I'm not capped block. Eric, member of the Alliance, doing some upgrading. Love to see it. And I'm going to focus healing me. I know that Angel's a little bit low, but I've used a potion on the tank, so we're going to make this happen. This is probably the smoothest, I don't want to say anything yet, I'm totally going to jinx it, but this is the smoothest tower experience thus far at this high level. I also did have a bug where I relogged from my mobile to the MEmu emulator, because if I'm doing loops and stuff, I don't want my phone to be open and running for like 48 hours, which is literally, I've been doing raids for 48 hours for the past couple days. I don't want my phone running that long because it's just going to drain the battery and whatnot, and I have to leave my phone unlocked. So I'll run it on the emulator, and I've noticed that if you log from the phone to the emulator, it can mess up the tower level. For example, I cut a video where I finished at level 41, and then when I logged back on the computer, it put me at 39. And so I'm like, what is this? I relogged a bunch of times on the emulator. It finally fixed itself. I reported the bug with a bunch of info. So they're aware of it, and they were able to find it. So maybe you guys, it'll probably be fixed before you experience it. But if you're having that, don't panic. But keep an eye on what level you're at and all that stuff. Because if I didn't notice that, if I just jumped in and did more raids or more, if I just jumped in and did more tower, then I would have been doing a 39 instead of a 41. And that would have wasted a day's progress for me. So it's significant. But all right, let's keep healing the tank. We'll heal and shield. I'm still aware that skills that heal and shield, a lot of times they don't show the shielding happening, but it is there. So, not the most exciting battle, but you know what, I'm okay with it. I'm actually going to take the reflect off the boss with my NG skill. One of the benefits of being an NG tank is there. And as far as my tank players, yes, they did do the update on Guild Boss 5, and the Guild Boss 5 gear will be slightly more relevant for a little bit longer. However, I still think that the Guild Boss 5 mythics cost too much. They're very, very expensive to use. I'm going to do the debuff again. They're very expensive to use, and at this point, Destiny gear is still better. Therefore, I really don't recommend any of my players use it. If they want it, obviously I'm going to give it to them. But at this point, I still think the Guild Boss 5 items are cosmetics at best. They're super expensive, and at this point, you might as well just push tower and see what you get. So I believe this wraps up a boss kill. Come on, gotta kill that last dude. He does have Reflect because of the debuff. We've been super lucky with Reflect. The team I am running, I know it's not an option for everybody. It's probably not an option for most people or anybody really. But it just happens to be that this composition is the strongest against the enemies having Reflect. Because I don't attack the enemies. They attack me. My Ricky Pet does a little bit of damage, and my Reflex are doing most of it. And if my minions can get a little bit of extra damage out there, I'm all happy about it. But anywho, we are going to try to run through this. I do have 4 more tickets, so I will try to do my other levels, but I've got, since this level should be defeated, I have 2 more minion levels until I can get to player levels. And then I should blast through the player levels and then get stuck on minions again. And that's just how it's going to be. I do think that I can claw my way to level 50. My biggest limitation there is my minion team is pretty lacking. And I really don't want to put a lot of effort in the minion team. Obviously, this mode is designed to make you do that, so I get it. But I'm not in love with most minions out there, and the one minion that I got the most excited about was Sword God, and she is not where I would need her to be to really want to upgrade her much. Although, all that could completely flip if they come out with augments in like a month or 2 or whatever, and we can kind of itemize our minions and customize them a little bit, then I completely change that tune, and I'm all about some Sword God. I would put 2 healers, a tank, Sword God, and my best minion team, and that way she could snipe targets and stuff. She can hit front and back, she can hit it all. So I think having her would be some good variety, but this will get a little bit back to autopilot. And speaking of autopilot, one thing that I haven't seen, and I don't know if it's going to come anytime soon, is they need to make the autopilot smart. Doesn't have to be perfect, but like for example, I have so little trust in the ability of my minion team to heal me, even though I have 3 amazing, possibly best in the game healers on my team. Are they going to heal me? I've already used a potion on my tank, and now he's dead because he didn't get any heals. And literally, I have the best healing minions in the freaking game on my team right here, right now, and they don't throw heals. And I see them throw heals when my team is full health because it's just completely random. I think if your minion has 3 buttons they can press, you got a 33% chance of whatever button they're going to hit, as long as they have the SP to do it. And it's bad, and so it makes battles take a lot longer, and so on and so forth. Like, will Sharky get a single heal before he gets popped? Stay tuned. His leeching ability is completely busted. It's so amazing, his leeching. But that's the other issue. It's got to be fixed. Got to be fixed in a timely manner. Got to be fixed. Make the autopilot smarter. Doesn't have to be perfect, but if I have somebody under 50% and my 3 healers don't cost a single heal on him, what's going on here? What's the deal? And so that definitely needs to be streamlined. And I know that the game is taking a ton of time for people right now. You got 3 hours of regen, doesn't include guild boss, doesn't include tower, etc., etc. If you want to do any actual pushing, maybe you're saving up some resources and whatnot. Yeah, I got it, fellas. But we are seeing moves in the right direction. We're seeing combat speed hopefully increasing. Guild boss turns are going to be a little bit faster and things like that. So, anywho, let's let this happen. I do want to kill the trash, though, because I've been getting Destiny drops from trash. Unfortunately, every level you get a Destiny weapon, which is great for anybody that doesn't have a Transcendent weapon. But I do. So all these Destiny weapons for me is essentially like a 1 nugget reward. And I think it would be cool if they diversify that a little bit and say, okay, they should just alternate it. So the first level you get a weapon, second you get offhand, then you get a helmet, body, necklace, back piece, etc. Just kind of rotate it like that. That would be awesome. I think they're probably smart enough that if they didn't do it that way, it's intentional. They want to give you enough stuff to kind of like tease you. Because if you give a player 10 Destiny weapons, he can only use 1. So I think I understand the philosophy there. I'm just going to let this finish out. But yeah, if you give a player 10 Destiny weapons, he can only use 1 at a time. He can only equip 1, so you're not going to give him like full Destiny gear. So I guess I get that. But you see what I'm saying. And that is the Antimatter Sword. This is super popular. A lot of DPS players are using this. It's got good offensive skills. It's got healings and such, or shielding or combo, whatever it is. very similar to the Raid 6 weapon. But let's just look at these total stats. I think it's going to be 485. Is that what this is supposed to be? Bump, bump, add that. Dun, dun, dun. 46, 486. Which is a lot more than my Thunder Fury right now, at least base stats. So that was a 42. We're now on to 43, and we're going to keep pushing. I have the 4 attacks from my daily regen. I've only got one other minion team that's even worth trying, so I'll see if I can fish for a good floor in those 4 attacks. If not, it's going to take me a couple days to get through here. But on the bright side, the very, very bright side, once I just RNG fish and get a good floor, and I push through this, I've got good player teams. I can bust through 84, or 85, 6, 7, 8. I do think 89 is a minion level, but I'm told, excuse me, I'm saying this backwards. Apparently I'm dyslexic today. But I do know that 49 is a minion level, and 50 is a player level. So if I wanted to sit at 50, I can just spam all my stuff on that and try to farm items there, which will be considerably higher than what I've got already. So we'll see. We'll see if I get stuck or not. All right, boys, as always, appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.